What's up, Dad?
Sam, how are you? Herbie, can you clean up?
It's not mine.
Please.
Hey, what's your middle name?
Mine? William. Okay, great. Yeah, my mom will be really happy about that. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, William. Good to see you too, Sam. Mike Rimmers is the only player not working today. This is the second week in a row. Coach.
All right, everybody.
Townsend put 4 inside the 20. I don't think he's put one in the end zone all year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think he has, but that was definitely his best
At
game.
any rate, he seems like he's better at that part of the game. What did he do during the offseason to get better, or is it just a matter of your coverage?
I think he didn't start off real fast this year. If you really look at the numbers, we didn't have a lot of punts either, but in this game, he definitely had his best game. Four really good hang time punts, 4 good distance punts. Anytime you're forcing a fair catch or your coverage is right on the returner like it was, he's doing a great job. So he put 4 punts together and was really, really proud of how he played.
If something happened to him, who's your backup holder? Is it Penny?
No, it's Kemp.
Marcus Kemp?
Yeah, Marcus Kemp. Yeah, we've practiced that. Surprisingly, he's our guy. Yeah.
Why not use him if he's as good at it? Why not use him? I mean, what?
Why not use him as a holder?
Yeah.
No, because Tommy's out there with Butker all the time, and those guys, they spend so much time together, and it's just it's important that they have that operation down. They have that down to a science.
You talked about Marcus Kemp. He had a pretty good game, special teams wise last week.
He had a great game. He was all over the place. We locked him up. We moved him out into the corner spot on punt return because they had a big gunner they had a 233-pound gunner that they had running down the field, and it was just tossing everybody all over the place. We put Kemp out there, and he single-handedly locked that guy out. So that was kind of unseen in the whole thing. But then his coverage was outstanding. He did a great job on punt, obviously, and then obviously in everything else on kickoff as well.
What does the new tight end bring to the table, special teams wise?
I'm not sure yet. I gotta get with him and see. I haven't even seen him yet, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
The Kemp, one of the coverages he gets called for the unsportsmanlike conduct. I just wanted your take on that because obviously that's
it's everybody sees things differently. I thought it was a nice hit. I thought it was perfectly timed. He had plenty of time to be able to duck and move, but sometimes they just don't see it the same way. And it's a bang bang play, and it's hard for those guys to make everybody happy in the calls that they make.
That new emphasis, that situation.
Yeah, you're trying to protect the player.
It seems like that situation is the most difficult for a player to adjust.
It is. It's really hard it's really hard on gunners now. They have to try to time it up. If you stop, now the guy's going to make a move on you and make you miss. So, and actually Kemp has missed a tackle that way too. He waited because he didn't want to hit the guy too early, and the guy broke a tackle. So, there's a fine line. It's hard to coach. The new rules is really hard to coach. But I'll just leave it at that.
Dave, I think we asked you about McCole after he caught it inside the 5 in Washington. Since then, it looks like the punt returns have been a little bit more cleaner. Just what has worked so far with McCole?
Well,
how close do you feel that maybe he may break one?
He's getting, anytime he gets the ball in his hand, is we have an opportunity. I really believe that. Now we didn't get an opportunity last week. I mean, he had one kick that was actually in the field of play, and he made the fair catch on it. Good decision. The other ones were all right. They were kicking away from him. So their plan was not to give us any returns, and they executed that plan well last week. But anytime he gets a chance, we really feel like he's dangerous, and he's come a long way. And we're excited about his. The future with him.
It looked like you definitely had a few opportunities on their kick return team. They put the ball on the ground a couple of times there.
Oh, well, opportunities to get the ball back. Yeah. Butker is doing a great job moving the ball. Like we show one way and then he kicks it the opposite way and it makes the returner run. And then the one that you saw him running after, and he bobbled it like that. And by the time he gets it in his hands, it's creating more hang time. Actually, by the time he has it, our coverage is squeezing in on him and he has nowhere to go. So he's a great weapon. I mean, Bucker had a great game too. I mean, obviously the game winner at 109 with 100 when a minute and 9 seconds left was huge, and then all his kickoffs too. The things that go on, besides because he can, at any time he can kick a touchback anytime. We ask him to kick those high hanging kicks so we can get down there and cover, and we use our kickoff team as a weapon.
Bruce Boone had 10 sacks for you on special teams and now taken by LA. What do you think was appealing maybe to grab him?
We really liked him, but I mean, it's a great opportunity for him to go in and actually, he's going to be on the active roster and he's going to actually play linebacker, besides just special teams. So great opportunity for him. We're going to miss him because I really liked him. I thought he was a really good fit here. I thought, we did a good job bringing him in. Our guys evaluated. Brent brought him in here, and he helped us. 2 weeks ago, he made a tackle, the lone tackle on kickoff, and I was excited about him going forward. Now we got to face him someday. So,
Couple more? No? Okay.
all right, thank you guys.
All right, see you.
All right, I can still say good morning. Check my watch. How's everybody doing? I don't have a lot to say. Just anxious to get back out there and practice. We're on a short week, but sometimes when it goes quick like this, it's good. It's a good thing. So with that, I'll open it up.
You know more about Jordan Love than you did a couple days ago?
That was good, Al. Yeah, we do. We've been digging for plays. It's funny. There's not a lot out there. I think he missed the preseason game, so there were a couple there, and then in that New Orleans game at the beginning of the year. But we'll dig as much as we can and research as much as we can and find out as much as we possibly can about the quarterback that we're going to play against.
What talent does it face? What type of talent do you face facing a quarterback, just 5 days before versus,
Yeah.
10 seconds?
That's a really good question, and that's what we're kind of navigating now. But when it really comes down to it, I said this to the staff this morning, when there are a lot of unknowns, you defend the scheme. It's still Matt LaFleur over there calling the plays. It's still the Green Bay Packers offensive scheme. I can't imagine they detour too far from that. Will they have some wrinkles? They probably will, and we'll have to just be prepared for whatever they give us. But I think it's more right now defending the scheme and knowing what he can do as an athlete, which I think we all know he is. And I'll tell you what, he can throw the football. It's evident by the few plays that we saw, no question about that.
But the one difference, like last week against the Cardinals, they were without 3 of the wide receivers, so they're more of a passing team. But they showed they could run the football.
No question.
151 yards. How do you make
Yeah,
defend against
I would
that?
tell you this: when I say defend the scheme, those two running backs are as good as we have faced and will face, in my opinion. And what they do with them, I think, is really, really good. I mean, it's zone schemes and stretch and cut back, and they're downhill. I remember when the running back was at Boston College because I was up in that area at the time. I think he's a really good football player. And 33 can do everything that you want a running back to do. Block and protection, run the rock, and catch the football out of the backfield. So I guess when I say defend the scheme, I'm kind of talking about that. And I would expect that they would feature those guys, but we'll see.
Coach, with the addition of Melvin Ingram, what does he bring to the
Yeah, I listen. Glad to have him. We had an opportunity to visit with him last spring sometime when we were in the middle of that. I love his energy and attitude. He loves football. He's passionate about the game of football. That came across when we visited him back a couple months ago. It always takes a little bit when you bring somebody in midstream. Yesterday was kind of a light practice, hard to tell. He has spent quite a bit of time with Brendan Daly and Terry. So we'll see where he's at when we get to the end of the week and then have to make a decision.
Realistic, you think he could play at this point? That he could play?
Well, I mean, I think there's always a chance because he's a veteran. I think he's a very intelligent, smart football player. That's what it feels like to me. But don't know yet, and we'll see. Then you got to have the whole, how many you're going to have on the 48 or the, that game day roster. We'll get that all figured out in time.
Last week at this time, I was asking what would it take to get Frank Clark going. It seemed like he had his best game.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Well, I mean, I think I said this when you were I have seen that. I'll be honest with you. I saw it yesterday. And it was a light practice, but just in the things that he was doing. And I go back to, I think we talked about this last time, that I think we kind of forget that not a lot of training camp, right? And then we got into the season, there's a couple of games and you're on the sideline. That's hard but I think hopefully he's hitting stride now.
What did you see from him yesterday? I mean, you said like.
Yeah, just when I was watching him, it was like, but I watched his concentration. He was like doing little things, hands and foot, stepwise. To me, that's huge. That's huge.
Coach, Nick Bolton, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Month
Yeah.
in October. How happy are you for
Yeah.
him? And what was his reaction when you heard the news?
I don't know that. I just found out not too long ago, to be honest with you. I think Brett Veach texted to me before I went out there for the walkthrough. So I haven't even had a chance to, but I'm sure it's a big smile. Listen, he's played some really good football for us, and he's been impressive in regards to how much volume he's been able to absorb, and that's helped us. We hopefully keep going that way with him as well.
Several players have said that he has come off across like a veteran in the sense of communication. So now you suddenly get Anthony Hitchens back.
Yeah.
Kind of a good problem. How are you
Yeah.
planning to navigate that?
Well, listen, Hitch to me, he's the guy that smooths everything out. So he'll be in there in certain situations. I'm sure we'll have Nick in there in certain ones. They'll both be in there together, which is a good problem to have. Anytime you can have intelligent, good football players at the linebacker spot, I think that's a good thing for us.
With Hitchens coming back and the way that Nick has played in that kind of middle position, is there an opportunity that Hitch could help out at the same position as well?
I don't know if we'll go that route, but there'll be, there's really usually 4 of those guys that work in there. Really, when you cut, and they're all going to get work. I mean, we've got packages for all of them, so we'll get them in there. But I don't think Hitch
I
will
want
be
to ask you about Daniel Sorensen. A couple of times
Yeah.
last game, he was caught in the bats. From
Yeah.
side. Is that what are you saying from him?
Well, listen, you hit the nail on the head. He's in that play over. I mean, just what is it? Just another inch of knocking the thing out. I mean, I'm sure he would love to have that play back and knock it out. I think I talked to him real quick after. He kind of went for the catch. He was trying to, and the guy out muscled him, and it happened. And those things happen. It was the only real, that and maybe another fate or the trick play, I think, was the only other one that really got downfield. But I got the confidence that Dan will make that play. And if the exact same thing happens again, Dan will make it.
Is his confidence still the same?
I think so. I mean, that's a better question for him. I mean, that's an internal thing. I mean, I don't see any lack of confidence. Let me just say that.
Back to Ingram for a second. Once he gets rolling and he's part of the next year, what kind of role do you see for him?
I'm not sure I got it figured out, Adam, to be honest with you, but I mean, he is in the defensive end spot. And we'll just have to, it's like anybody that you don't really know a lot about. You got to learn what they can do and what they can absorb and you don't really find out until you get in a game, because practicing. And so you'll have to give us a little bit of time to figure out how to use them.
With that said, I understand that. But what does this mean for Chris Jones?
A little bit of flexibility. If you guys noticed last week, we got him in there as well. So we want to have Chris. We want Chris to be able to play in both spots, so the teams, don't really know where he's going to line up.
When you say that, we've seen Melvin Ingram. He's a professional. I mean, we've seen him with the Chargers over the years. So I mean, on film, you know what he can do, and he's obviously in game shape with coming from Pittsburgh. But is this a small tactic? Admission that because last year you talked about when they weren't getting a lot of sacks, you said the scheme wasn't meant for pressure. And this year, of course,
the scheme was not meant for pressure.
Well, it was more so they weren't getting as many sacks as they were the year before when they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But be as it may, when you look at him coming into the team, you told me he's going to be defensive. And is it a small admission that the experiment with Chris Jones on the outside didn't work?
We had an opportunity to bring a good football player in here. I mean, that's how Brett presented it to me. We added another good football player. That's how I look at it.
Sorry, when you're trying to build solid defensive performances, how beneficial is it to end Monday's game like you did, where the game was on the line, your guys got to win? Yeah,
listen, look, it's a 3-point game, and we all know those can turn really quick. So I was proud of the guys and how they went out there and operated at the end. We'd like to think that we put in those situations, we can do that. I think we failed in a game, that maybe Chargers game or something somewhere along the way. So it was nice to have our guys finish it and be one of the reasons why we won the football game.
Let's close it out May end.
Steve, what's your philosophy when you're playing a quarterback that's making his first career start?
Yeah.
Do you try to bring more pressure or unique pressures more than usual, or do you just want to allow the game to sort of dictate how you want to attack?
I would say years ago, I think we had this conversation. I don't know if we talked about Jim Johnson before or whatever, but when the game was a little bit different, I think he may go down that road nowadays, in my opinion, with the new quarterbacks coming in, especially one we don't know about, but we do know is athletic. It's all the other things that they can do that I don't know that you can just say we're going to bring the house every down because it's a rookie quarterback. But I think we got to pick our spots. But it'll be a little bit of a learning process in the middle of the game to find out what he can do and what they really are asking him to do. But I go back to he's been there a year. Like it's not that he's not a rookie, which tells me. And if I'm not mistaken, when Aaron was not there in the spring, I think he was the guy. So it's not like they have to shut the whole system down. And I would expect that they just roll with what they do. That's just what we're expecting.
As a follow-up to what Adam was asking about Ingram acclimating, it seems like he over his career, he's played in a lot of 3-4 base defenses. How much is that going to affect how he's able to adjust to your scheme?
It doesn't feel like it should be that tough of an adjustment for him, just in talking to him. Yesterday, we just did the light walkthrough, and there was something I went over and said, did you know that he just spit it right out. It doesn't feel like right now like that's going to be a tough adjustment for him, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. You got it.
All right. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's family's doing good. Feels good coming off a victory from this past week, a few days ago. But one thing I've learned throughout my course of coaching at this level, if you want to be great, you take care of business on Monday night, but you got to be prepared to play and come out and be at your best on Sunday. So with that said, I'm all ears.
Because you mentioned it every week about turnovers. And at what point is it just reached that frustration boiling point over for you as a coach?
Oh, it's reached that. It's past that. So it's not anything anyone ever wants to do. Okay. But you still have to focus in on it, and you still got to make sure that we're doing all the little things to help us not to have to experience that. So, but you don't want guys going into games playing paranoid or playing afraid. So you want them to be professionals, but when it's all said and done with, one of the number one objectives, and I talk to our guys about this all the time, okay? Our job as a unit is to make sure we're handing that ball back to the ref after each and every play. That's our job. We got to make sure that we do a better job of that.
Coach, you all had 12 penalties in the game Sunday. We asked Andy Reid about it yesterday. What are you all seeing on film, and what are you all doing to clean it up?
Well, first of all, we're working on it, okay? Our guys, at some point in time, can overcompensate trying to do too much when they necessarily don't have to. But when it's all said and done with, our guys got to focus on being fundamentally sound. And that's one thing we got to do. Everybody wants to try and do a little bit of extra. No, it's not about that. I just need them to be who they are, all right? Make sure that they're relying upon their fundamentals, play sound football, and then let's just go out and play the next play. If my best is not good enough at what I was coached to do, it's okay. They get paid on the other side of the ball as well. We just need to make sure that we're detailing the details and focusing on the little things to help us to be at our best. But the penalties are drive killers. They're stopping us. They're keeping us from achieving the success that we need to have.
Before the season started, you mentioned that you guys might have to run the ball more because you anticipated the defense was going to be defending you the way that they are now. Statistically, it hasn't worked out that way as far as how often you run it, but success-wise, are you seeing the same openings that you anticipated seeing when you made that statement before the year?
Oh yeah, there's lanes to be found, and our guys, I thought they did a heck of a job last week. About Darryl doing what he did, not only as a runner, but also as a receiver out of the backfield. And then young DG steps in and does a heck of a job, scores his first touchdown. Our O-line is doing a heck of a job in the run game. My guys are doing a great job of finding the seams. We just need to continue that, and we need to continue building off that. The good thing is that we found a way to overcome adversity last week, which you want to build upon that. So we want to take the small necessary steps to help us to to regain our stride, to get us back in stride again, as Frankie Beverly and Mays would say, so we can achieve the goals that we want to achieve, because there's still a lot of football left to be played.
And then just as a follow that, you mentioned the young offensive line. That it seems like they've been really good in the run game. I mean, not that they haven't been in the past, but was that something you anticipated when you saw these guys in training camp?
You know what? These guys, I mean, hell, we got 3 of them. I mean, Creed, my man Trey, and then Lucas, who started last week. I mean, all those guys are young guys. Those guys are going to play a lot of good football together. We knew exactly what we were getting with those particular kids and those young men, and they're going to continue to get better. The thing I love about what they do, first and foremost, the leadership that they have from the top with Coach Heck, he does a great job. And then on top of that, the culture that is built in that room, those guys have a unique relationship, and it's fun to watch. And like I said, there's some personalities, but those guys get it, and the only thing they want to do is be at their best when their best is required.
Did you learn anything about Derek Orr on Monday night?
Oh, yeah. And the thing that I've learned is something that I think that we've always known is that the kid has a chance to be a very, very good, productive football player in this league. The thing I think Coach Slew has done a great job of being with Derek, first of all, is just being patient with him, because the kid is young. He got his fresh start with the Chargers. In fact, I know Coach Anthony Lynn, who's a personal good friend of mine. He's probably going to take all the credit for developing him, but I'm not going to give him that credit. I'm going to give that credit to Greg Lewis. But the kid has a good way about him. He's been on our practice squad. He works his tail off, and he doesn't take anything for granted. I love what he brings to the table, and I think this kid is going to help us moving forward. And I think that his confidence has shown that.
Does he give you something when he's in the game that maybe you don't have with any of your other backs?
You know what he does? He runs with a great forward lean. The kid, he's just a unique runner. He runs behind his pads. I love the feet in traffic. I love all the things that he does. Now, he's continuing to grow, and we want to make sure when we're putting him in the right situations where he can be productive with us. And so we don't want to break his confidence. We want him to continue building his confidence.
You mentioned the word patience in your speech just now, but when you look at what the Packers did last week against the Cardinals, they rushed very efficiently because they were without their wide receiver, through their top receiver. They should get them back with the big without Aaron Rodgers. And of course, in last week's game, they rushed for 151 yards, something I'm pretty sure was near dear to your heart. But they knocked off an undefeated team. I know the Packers are much different, probably much better team than the Giants. What do you all need to do to make sure that you all, are able to secure one next week?
Well, first and foremost, we just need to be the very best of who we are. That's not turning over the ball and just playing efficient, going out there, having fun, and allowing our guys to let their personality show. When it's all said and done with, we got a lot of guys that's played a lot of football, and they've achieved a lot over the years. The thing is, we just want our guys to relax, go out there and have fun and enjoy the moment. If they can do that, we'll have a chance. But in order to do that, we got to make sure we're eliminating all the mistakes. We got to eliminate the turnovers. We have to eliminate the penalties. One thing that we've learned throughout this entire process is the Chiefs versus the Chiefs is not a very good opponent. We've beaten ourselves quite a few times this season. And so let's stop defeating ourselves and making the mistakes that have been costly. Let's start lining up and playing against the opponent. If we line up and we play against the opponent on a consistent basis, I like our chances. So those are the things that we need to focus on.
Which we know that Patrick is kind of working through some things now, and he kind of noted he felt like Monday night was a small step forward. What positive signs did you maybe see going back over the film with him that he's getting back to where he needs to be?
You know what? Here's what I see. I see his confidence and his leadership. And the thing about it, we just don't want him second guessing anything that he does. Yes, I'll say it again. No one wants him to go out there and throw any picks, okay? No one wants him to second guess the things that he's done that has helped him to achieve the status that he's achieved. But when it's all said and done, we just need to make sure we're doing the necessary things to help us to be productive. And it's just making sure, hey, it starts with taking a snap. On top of that, when he's dropping back, making sure he's evaluating everything in coverage. And then on top of that, just making sure he's making the correct read. So I'm not worried about Pat. I'm just worried about us collectively as a unit, making sure that we're playing the team ball that needs to be played.
Just because of the interceptions just recently, or a little indecisiveness?
I don't sense any hesitation, but I don't even want to influence that thought process in his mind, because the kid is a unique kid. He's a special kid, and he's very aware of the mistakes that he makes.
You played 9 years in the NFL.
Yes.
Can you explain how hard it is when you get to that late in your career, in terms of trying to sustain longevity, and how make that translate to what Travis Kelce's going through right now, who's clearly playing through some nicks and some bumps, and you guys trying to find ways to get him to play a little bit better than what he showed last Monday?
Well, first of all, Nate, I like to think I was a better player than Travis at one point in time. But it's tough when you're getting up there in age. And here's the thing, Trav is a hell of a football player. Trav has accomplished a lot. Trav is going to attract a lot of attention, to certain defenses. And so teams are doing whatever they can to try and take him away and neutralize him. But what it does, it opens up the next man. And so, yes, Travis continuing to work and doing all the things that are necessary to help him to get back on track. But if you talk to Trav today, first and foremost, Trav is going to be excited just about having the opportunity of stepping out there with his peers and playing. Okay. The next thing that I appreciate about Trav is that he's taking on a leadership role on the sideline, because, he feels how teams are playing him, and he's getting the other guys more involved and saying, hey, it's your job to make this play. If they're going to double me or do whatever, you need to step up and make this play. So those are the things that I appreciate about him. But one thing I do know, Trav will have an impact on what we do and the things that we want to accomplish, because first and foremost, it's the pride in him. He wants to be great. And so when you got a player like that wants to be great and strives for that greatness each and every day, when he's out there in that practice field, it's just a matter of time.
This goes back a few years, but this morning I had a chance to talk to Jamal Charles for a little bit. Spoke very highly of you. Said you're the first coach to ever really talk about the details.
Mm-hmm.
But he also said that you guys would butt heads all the time. He told a story about one day going to Andy Reid's office and we got to get rid of this guy. And he didn't, it seems. But I'm curious about kind of your side of that relationship and what your experience was like coaching him, and maybe if you have a time that you tried to get him out of town because of those conflicts.
Well, here's the thing. So first of all, I always tell my guys, I coach hard, but I coach fair. Okay. I'm going to be your biggest fan, but I'm also going to be your harshest critic. And so the thing that we're going to do is make sure that we're accountable to one another, because my job is to make sure I'm preparing you to be at your best. And sometimes, players miss the love that you have for them when you're giving them constructive criticism. Now, that constructive criticism can come from me in a very, very unique way. And so I like to think it's special with care and all that. But the unique part about it, Jamal was a dynamic football player. On top of that, Jamal is probably one of the best people that I've had an opportunity to work with. So, it was a very, very fun opportunity. And the thing about it, you count your blessings, because I was blessed and fortunate to have an opportunity to work with Jamal. And I'm sure he probably felt the same about me, but he made me a better coach. And on top of that, he made me a better person.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
No, for sure. All right, guys, go ahead and fire away.
Melvin, can you take us through the last couple of days emotionally?
I ain't got no emotions. Nah, same old.
Do you feel like you're in game shape, like you could come out and perform Sunday?
You said game shape?
Yeah, game
For
shape,
sure.
like you can come out and perform Sunday if need be.
No, definitely.
Welcome to Kansas City.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
You were here for a visit back in March. Why do you think it didn't work out that you signed here before you chose to sign with the Steelers?
I don't know. I guess God always got a plan. He bring you where he want to bring you, when he want to bring you. Yeah, so I felt like God just had a plan for me.
Melvin, you played against the Chiefs a bunch of times over the years. What were your thoughts from the other side of the line of scrimmage about what was going on here?
Great offense. Great offense, a lot of weapons, man. They got so many weapons. So it's just it's dope just to be on this side of it now, just to see it and see like everything that you was thinking was really true. Like in to an even magnitude like prospect, like it's crazy.
Going back to your offseason visit, did they offer you a contract?
I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember. It's so far back. I'm focused on the day.
Melvin, yesterday Mike Tomlin was asked about, you coming to Kansas City, and he said he'd rather have volunteers as opposed to hostages.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you were a hostage when you?
No, I never felt like a hostage. I never felt like a hostage. So I don't know what he meant. You probably should have asked him what he meant. I don't know. I ain't never been a hostage.
Were you surprised that they sent you to an AFC contender?
Not really. I just felt like they sent me where they wanted to send me. That's cool.
Did you want out of that situation in Pittsburgh, though?
The situation was kind of different. I ain't into telling lies. It was kind of different. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But it's good. It was a dope situation. I respect all those guys. I respect Coach Tomlin, all the coaches. I respect all the players. So it was definitely a blessing just to be there with those guys. I can't sit here and downplay that in no way, shape, or form. Like it was definitely a blessing to be there.
How was it different than what you thought it would be?
No, it was just different. It was just different. Like just different.
So you got the chance to, play alongside Joey Bosa. What do you add with the defensive line with Frank Clark and Chris Jones?
You said what do I add?
Yeah.
I added. You didn't see me play. You said I get to play beside Joey Bosa. What do I add? That don't correlate.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you bring into this defense?
Nah, I'm gonna bring me. I'm gonna bring my style, my unique style of play. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna go in there and just try to contribute to what they got going on.
What's most attractive to the way that Steve Spagnuolo and Brandon Daly do on the defensive line that maybe plays into your strengths?
They let guys play. They let them play, and they big on the rush. So that's another positive. So they definitely big on the rush, and they got guys on the back end that play football for real. So that's good.
Every defense has its different lingo and stuff. I mean, Steve actually said something earlier today about having a conversation with you about you sort of finished one of his sentences, so he felt like you are pretty close. Do you feel like you're up to speed enough with what you learned in just 2 days to play on Sunday?
I feel like we're just gonna see how the week go. I'm definitely trying to get up to speed. You definitely come in and some lingo be the same, some be different. So you definitely just got to learn that lingo. So that's why we just take it one day at a time, just trying to get caught up to speed.
You kind of said being in the building, it's kind of been above and beyond your expectations. Just what does playing for the Chiefs franchise in a sense mean to you?
I think it means a lot, man. It's a first class organization, and we're first class players and coaches. So it's just an honor just to be a part of that.
Melvin, did you know any of your teammates before?
Here?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I knew a couple of guys.
Who were you close with? And how
I knew
much
Frank. I knew Chris. I knew AO. I knew Cortez. I knew a lot of people before I came here.
How much do you think that helped the transition, given that you know a lot of those guys on the defensive line already?
I think it's definitely gonna help. When you already got a relationship with somebody, then you come here and you get to work with them and all that. It's just gonna strengthen the relationship, really.
And Melvin, knowing what you can bring to this defense, what can you guys achieve, do you think, the second half of the year defensively?
I think we got a chance to be special. Just from the outside looking in, and now from the inside looking in, I think we got a chance to be special. And I think that's gonna come with time.
Anything you feel like you could bring, whether it's playing or not, on Sunday when it comes to facing a new quarterback like Jordan Love? Can you sort of lean on the experience of playing new quarterback for the first time when it's their first start?
I think we still gonna game plan the same no matter who in there, really, because Jordan Love, he's definitely a special player too. So you can't just try to change your game plan. You definitely got to play in the same way. So it don't matter who lines up at quarterback. We're gonna come out and play the same.
Is there something special about number 24 to you?
I started off with the COVID mentality from the beginning of the year. And it's just a mentality that it's an underdog, or not really so much as an underdog. It's just a never stop, never give up, keep grinding type mentality and put the work in. So coming here, I just wanted to keep that same mentality, really.
When the trade was announced, do you remember what you were doing and what was your reaction when you let it sink in that you were coming here?
I really feel like I don't know, I might have been like working out. But it's sinking. It's a part of the business. You can't just get caught up in everything. I was only there a couple months. It ain't like it was heartfelt thing. Nah, I was there and it was a great time. I don't never want to try to downplay that situation. It was definitely a great time, and I learned a lot from that situation.
Does it mean more than a little bit, Melvin? Because
You said, does it mean more?
because the Chiefs did talk to you in free agency and then followed up and actually used a draft pick to come get you. Does it mean more that they still chose to go after you in this particular?
No, definitely. It definitely mean more. It definitely mean like they really believed in me, really. So I just got to come in and prove them right.
You've gotten a chance to play obviously against the Chiefs when you with the Chargers coming in the Arrowhead as an opponent. What's it going to mean to you now?
Man, it's electrifying. So I already know it's gonna be words really can't even describe it. Really, like it's gonna be crazy. I know it is.
I mean, you had a couple injuries last year.
I had one injury.
But it was okay, but it reoccurred, same injury reoccurred then?
Nah, it was the same injury the whole
You
time.
just tried to play through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there still something even within yourself that you wanted to prove that you'd get back to this level and play like you always have after going through
I don't really feel like it was something within me. Like I know who I am. Everybody know who I am. Injuries is a part of this game. So people gonna have their opinions or whatever they might have. But as long as you remain true to yourself and you know who you is and you know you can go out and perform and you go out and do it, I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody but myself.
We know this is a week-to-week league and you're focused on Sunday, but later this year, Thursday Night Football in LA, is that something you're marking on your calendar that you're going to look forward to?
For what?
Okay. Melvin, I know you've been here like 2 days, but you tried the Kansas City barbecue yet?
Not yet. I actually went to Gates one time when we played here. It was all right. It was like a couple years ago, but I'm gonna definitely try it out again. I heard a couple people say that.
Last event, Derek. Go ahead. Hey, you played spent a lot of time in the 3-4 over the years, and even Chiefs, DN linebacker. How do you feel like that? You're gonna be able to fit into that 4-3 and the role here?
Either way, linebacker or DN, it don't matter. I'm gonna come in and do whatever they ask me to do.
Okay, thanks, Melvin.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Welcome here, man.
Yes, sir.